Hello friends, you are watching my YouTube channel The Hood Guy and I am Harmeet Singh, and in this video I will be discussing about what is happening in the economic sphere in this country. So the topic that I have chosen in this video will be the transfer of interim surplus that the RBI has announced that amounts to nearly 28,000 crore to the government. The government was putting earlier the government was putting the pressure to the RBI. RBI heads, like you have seen the example of the Urjit Patel, which recently resigned, and in place of him, the new RBI governor, Shashikant Das has ordered to transfer the surplus. What the we have to see the what is the meaning of the surplus? Surplus in the RBI team in RBI means surplus means the extra amount of money that is stored in the reserves. Why the amount? Why this extra amount of money is stored in the reserves, and what is its use? It is used if the next day or in the 2 to 3 days there is a war there is a war between India and Pakistan, and India needs to procure some amount of weapons, and and if the government has adequate funds in their reserves, they can easily buy the weapons from any other countries or any other supply that is lagging. Suppose government needs or the country needs to inject certain amount of money. So I was talking about the interim surplus that the RBI has thought to be injected into the government account. So we have to see the fact that we have to see the fact that the extra amount of money that is accumulated in the RBI account is not for the government, is not for the use of the government. Is not for the use of the government. Government has to generate its own capital. So why I am saying this? Because if in the on the next day, if our forex exchange reserve, you must be knowing about that, if they got they are not there, and a whole amount of this will not happen nearby, because India has $400 billion forex reserve. If by chance we are running out of the forex exchange reserve and India do not have enough money to buy procure some amount of some products from outside, because the buyers did not first the government buy the product from outside, and then they introduce into the markets. When the marketplace buy that product, then the government what the government do, they impose a certain amount of duties on that. By this process, the forex exchange got accumulated into the account. So I will not be discussing these things here. So it is not a good thing, according to me, that government is forcing the RBI governor to inject these 28, and this is not a very small amount of money, we can say. This is equally, if we say that this is nearly to 28,000 crore. This is not 1,000 or 2,000 or 28,000 crore, and it is of the surplus that the RBI has earned. And the government is what is the government is doing in before that. The RBI, that RBI head that is running the institution, Shishkant Das, it is playing into the hands of the government, because if we see the strict decisions that was taken by the Urjit Patel, that's why he resigned from his post. I repeat, he resigned from his post, stating that if the autonomy of the institution is broken, I will not play into the hands of the government. I will not ruin the autonomy of the institution, because he said that this surplus is not for the government and government schemes, because government has to generate, I repeat, government has to generate its own profit. They will not beg to the central bank or any kind of a bank to transfer the amount to their account. So by research I have found that these kind of measures during the elections also help the government, because if the government is running out of money and they have to spend some amount of money on the public sector, so they can use from this credit, this source, that the 28,000 crore that has been transferred from RBI. Moreover, this is not the first time. In the previous year, I think 40,000 crore was transferred from RBI to the government reserve, and this time 28,000 crore, amounting in the 2 years, amounting nearly to 68,000 crore has been inducted into the revenues of the government, which government. And in the coming years, in the consecutive coming years, the government will force the government will force the RBI to share more amount of money with them. So this was all about the RBI. I'll read the headlines again. RBI to transfer 28,000 crore interim surplus to government. So the another news that is flashing through all the newspapers and the media across the country is saying this, like the story, cement makers happy as the MFN status has been revoked by India. So what that mean? So first we are speaking on first we are speaking of to promote the Make in India platform, and the next day we are importing the more and more amount of products from other countries, which are not necessary or or have been manufactured in India in good amounts. Like if we consider the example of the cement. Cement has been produced in the country in and excess amounts, and this is not about the quantity. The quality of the cement produced in India is also good, but what the India did to make to what the India did, they allow the Pakistan traders to induct their cement into the Indian markets, which have a very negative effect on the cement traders. According to the cement traders, the injected cement from the Pakistan also, first of all, it disturbs the culture that India has recently developed, make in India, because when the cement comes from the Pakistan, they are sold in a cheap amounts, and all the builders, I do not speak I do not speak about the North Indian states, because the North Indian states receive less amount of cement, less amount of cement. All the cement that are shipped across from the Pakistan are shipped to the South Indian states due to their cost are very less, and they are injected into the building materials. Because if you are purchasing a cement bag of 450 rupees in India, the same cement bag will be, if you buy from the Pakistani traders, you will get on the subsidized rate from 100 rupees less. So I can say that it is of 350 rupees. So it destroys the Make in India perspective. From my perspective, it destroys the Make in India, and also the distribution, also the domestic distribution of cement. So this is a very good decision that has been taken by the government of India to revoke. And also the government what has decided to impose a 200% tariffs on the imported cement from the Pakistan, which will help Indian marketplace to gain larger share market on cement market. Because if we say that 200%, it is a very good amount of tariff that has been inducted by the government. Because if earlier we used to get a cement bag from Pakistan at the minimum cost of 100 rupees, and now we will get same amount of same cement bag from the Pakistan at the amount bagging nearly 300 rupees, which will make their cement not affordable, and they will lose their market share. So this is a very good strategy that India is concerned, because India used to give so much benefits to Pakistan, so that the trade relations can be improved. Trade relation can be improved, but the Pakistan has proved it wrong, the benefits that India has been providing to the Pakistan, because you have seen that their economy is dwindling day by day. They are not able to pay their IMF loans. Every Pakistani citizen has 36,000 amount of loan on his shoulders. So they are facing an acute shortage of money. acute shortage of money. So this step will also boost India's security because the imported cement is in have less quality as compared to the same cement that is procured, distributed in India and made in India. So this will also lead to a good market share of India, and the huge and moreover the price, and moreover the money that has been going out of the country from 5 years. 5 years will be distributed in the country, and our economy will sprout day by day. So this is all about the Pakistan that India has. Cement makers happy as MFN status of Pakistan withdrawn. So in science and tech section, we are seeing a very beautiful news that is the Japan researchers have found a new way to increase the life expectancy of a people of, we can say, the disabled people who have lost their hopes because they have their dreams are shattered because of some kind of disabilities, like they have broken their spinal cord by some kind of accident. Now the researchers in Japan are focusing on that kind of a thing that will increase the life expectancy. What they have did researchers in Japan, they will induce a pluripotent stem cells. The name you have, it's a very famous name. If you are from the biology field, you have studied, or you have, if you have studied the 8th to 10th NCERT books, you have gone through pluripotent stem cells. These are the stem cells which can be developed. They are originally cells. They are not, or they are not like the another cell. They are the cells which can develop into an pure organ. From a single cell, they will develop into a pure organ. If there is a skin cell, if there is a skin stem cell, you collect your stem cell from the skin and grow into the culture. When you grow it into a culture under certain conditions, providing specific media, your the stem cells, if you give a specific media, because every cell in the body requires a different kind of media. Some cells in the body may require glucose. Some cells in the body may require nitrogen or that kind of things to increase in their number. So if we are considering the example of a stem cell, they can develop into in every a single cell can be proliferated or developed into every organ. So what every organ or tissue or generate its own kind. If it is if the neurons are damaged, or the spinal cord is damaged, if we put a few million pluripotent cells directly into the spinal cord, they will generate into a new spinal cord, or they will generate into a new neurons that will help to connect the destroyed neuron or degenerated neurons into the body. Yeah, so the original connections are maintained. Original connections are made, which has been broken or shattered by some kind of disease or accident. This is a very good news. If we see from the perspective of the science and tech, this is a future. We can say this is a future of the biotechnology, when we are able to cure the diseases which are left untreated into the present era. This kind of research has been recently procured in the Japan by the university. You must hear the university name, Kyoto University. The researchers will test these kind of things on 4 patients, because this is a these patients will be giving their bodies, and they will be considered human trials, clinical trials, because when a certain drug is discovered, or certain procedure is discovered, they have to go through certain procedures before they are standardized into the market. So first they have to go into the human clinical trial. Earlier trials has been successful in the rats or some kind of things. Now they are doing this experiment on the humans, and particularly on the 4 human beings who had shattered their spinal cord due to some kind of accidents. They are the test subjects which they are going to study, and they will not come on the result directly after visualizing the results by 1 month or 3 months. They will introspect the whole body of a person, how the person is reacting, if the shattered neurons are reconnecting to the dendrites, how the body is reacting to this procedure. So how this procedure will be done, nearly 2.4 million pluripotent stem cells, which I repeat, the cells which can generate into which the cells from a single cell they can develop into every organ. They will be induced directly into the spinal cord, and when they are, I do not have they do not have the guarantee, they are going from outside condition to inside condition. They do not give guarantee that all the stem cells will be developed will be developed. There are chances that two or half of the cells, if successfully placed, about if 2.4 million cells are being transferred into the spinal cord, around zero point 0.5 million or zero point 0.2 million will actually do their work. So they have to inspect into the span of 3 to 4 years. They have to inspect the persons thoroughly, so that these things can be done on the other individuals as well. So it is a very promising research, and it is a future of the technology to increase the life expectancy, because we are seeing the people who are disabled and who cannot even in their lifetime are bedridden. So this is a very good news for them if this trials are successful in the future, and successful in the future. In one point of time this will be successful in the future, because technology is developing at that pace, that in the near future these things will be easily available to all the patients. So we have to pray for their research to be conducted in a good manner, and these results are showing a positive result. uh, so so you have heard about the Parkinson disease. Due to the Parkinson disease, what happened? The motor connection of all the body parts are loosed. They are, so in the layman language we can say that the neurons that generates the information to connect with other parts of the body are lost. Due to these kind of things, the people are not able to move their hands, because there are the neuron in the brain that are controlling our head, our all the body parts. If by chance this disease got placed, these disease do not get transmitted through air or these kind of things. They are genetically monitored, monitored. So when these disease accumulated from 10 to 12 years, when these Parkinson disease are in its full-fledged process, what the person feels, they are not able to move their hands, they are not able to walk. So these kind of things. So earlier, these kind of tests has also been in also, this kind of a test has also been done on certain human beings, where 2.4 million, I think, pluripotent stem cells were induced directly into the brain. So the lost neurons, which are the degenerated neurons, can regrow itself, and the pluripotent cells that have been induced in the brains can again restructure the brain process in such a way that the neurons are reconnected, and all the neural paths which have been blocked, and the information is not traveling through the body parts, are again resculptured. So we can say that it is a good initiative of the researchers, good initiative of the researchers to do these kind of things to save the humanity and to reduce the suffering of the people, so reduce the suffering of the people. So this